it's time once again to take to the papers with the broadcaster Pete Price and anthropologist Mariana Hotter. Pete's had a costume change, I notice.
Always.
Every hour, different outfit every hour. You're going to have to change for the next hour, Marianne.
I know, I can't keep up. Maybe I'll wear a hat.
Yeah, maybe, why not? Look, let's, Marianne, kick off with The Guardian, should we? What are they saying about lung cancer this morning?
Yeah, so this is an interesting piece. Basically, it's a photo campaign. The photographs are being taken by Rankin, the famous photographer, to, I guess, remind family doctors, so GPs, about being aware that obviously non-smokers can get lung cancer. So 6,000 non-smokers die of lung cancer every year. And the initial symptoms are things like a persistent cough, bits of breathlessness, recurring chest infections, which of course could be loads of other things that are less serious than having lung cancer. And because in most people's minds in the public, but also within doctors, they sort of triage, are you a smoker? Have you ever been a smoker? And if you've never smoked, they go, well, it's probably less likely to be lung cancer, which is true, but obviously it costs people their lives, because if you get diagnosed many months later, you have far fewer treatment options. It's the 8th biggest killer in terms of cancers in the UK. And so this is a campaign to basically encourage GPs to stay alert to the possibility that the person presenting with these kind of common or garden symptoms at first might actually have something serious going on, and that they need to be savvy and use all the tools that they have available to them to send those people off to the right kind of tests or scans.
Yeah, absolutely. And no messing about. If you've got any symptoms, get yourself checked out. Pete, to the Times, looking at funerals, where the rules are going to change.
They are indeed, and this is close to my heart. This week, 1977, I lost my mum, and it's always a bad week for me. I've lost a lot of friends through this terrible pandemic. I said goodbye to my mum. I got the chance. So many people didn't. So many people went through so much pain losing a loved one, and they're not saying goodbye. And they're watching this program right now, and it's tragic. And thank goodness they're lifting it. It's going to still be limited in certain places, but you've got to say goodbye. You have to. You have to live with the pain of not saying goodbye. So this is really essential. It's been bad enough through this pandemic, and we've all lost loved ones. So to say goodbye properly is going to be a blessing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a real point of almost drawing a line, isn't it? It really helps psychologically to be able to say goodbye in that way. Social distancing, Marianne, this is on the Times this morning.
Yeah, so this is the kind of simmering excitement that possibly the summer might feel a bit freer, that there are moves towards stepping up and really focusing on reducing or removing social distancing. So people will be able to pack themselves into pubs, into restaurants, into cinemas, theatres, sporting events, all that kind of stuff. The likelihood is that we'll still have to wear masks. The question of whether you'll have to prove your COVID status, so whether that's a test on the door or whether you kind of turn up with your certificate or whatever, no one really knows. We don't really know. And let's be honest, we are in a much better position than we were a couple of months ago, but there are still lots of unknowns here. And so I think we have to still be a little bit cautious about our expectations, about where we're pinning our happiness. Because if your happiness is an absolutely heaving pub, and of course that is absolutely the case for the hospitality sector because they're on their knees and they need that revenue, but equally we can't sacrifice the following 6 months or something like that for another terrible wave of restrictions because we really went for it this summer.
I wonder how people are going to be cautious. It makes me a little bit nervous, I've got to say, losing social distancing, because you get so used to it, don't you? To the Telegraph, Pete, what's brolly good fun?
Well, I think it's wonderful. It's one of the best pictures I've seen. Everybody's going out. The English spirit has come out because people can't eat or drink indoors, and they just don't care. They are going out, and that will be me this afternoon in Manchester. I'm going out with some friends for lunch, and that will be me. And I did it the other day. I've been out every day. I'm trying to support the catering industry, but I've been out every day. I've never sat in a restaurant outside and eaten fish and chips with me gloves on. It's hysterical.
Do you think there's quite a nice attitude about it? I was out in Lytham on Friday with the in-laws and eating outside, and it was freezing. It was absolutely freezing, but you know what? It was good fun.
It's camping spirit. I'm all for getting outdoors more. It's good for us.
Yeah.
And I'm also for camping, so camping spirit.
Yeah, quite right. Obsolete in the Mirror, Marianne.
Yeah, I think this is the loveliest story. So it's a lady in her 90s called Ida Stevely. She lives in Middlesbrough. She's had the same Belling oven since 1954, so 67 years old. She's still got the original grill pan, there it is. And the only reason she's having to get rid of it now is because she needs carers coming in to help her, and they don't know how to use it. And apparently Ida's scones were the things to be really excited about. So she loves this oven, but it's time to move on. But it's given us 67 years of trusted service. And I think that's absolute testament to our older people, basically. They don't need to learn reuse, recycle. They've been doing it for a long time, and it's us
They
young
don't
ones
make
who-
them like they used to. They don't make them like they used to. Look, we'll see you both a little bit later on. Thanks very much indeed. Stay with us here on Sky News. All the